If you're a streamer that's balling on a budget, then you'll know that Black Friday is our favorite time of year because we can get quality streaming gear without going completely broke in the process. The only thing that's getting broken is my heart when I've realized it's been 30 years and my dad still hasn't come back from the gas station. So in today's video, I'll be covering the best streaming gear to keep your eyes on for deals this Black Friday and Cyber Monday, since brands like OBSBOT are gonna have large discounts with additional stackable codes on top. So we can save that money, y'all. First thing that I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on are microphones. And by the way, everything's gonna be linked in the description down below so you can follow along at home. This is very easily the best budget microphone I've ever used before. This is the original Fifine Amplagame A8. Right now it goes for about $39 at 10% off. This is a great option if you can't afford the microphones that are like $200 plus, because you're still gonna get a professional sounding audio on a huge discount. And I do have a video review of this, and I have a bunch of other video reviews of other gear I've tested in this video that we'll be talking about. So I'll leave that playlist for you at the very end of the video, so stick around till the end. But this is the older version. They now have an Amplagame AM8, which is a little bit more expensive. Right now it's about 50 bucks, but it does appear that it's upgraded. I've not had a chance to try it out, but it is Amazon's choice and has a bunch of good reviews, so it could be worth checking out if you want to spend a little bit more than the A8, but not as much as like the next one we're talking about, because the Rode PodMic USB is the microphone that I'm using right now, and it's literally amazing quality, and you just plug and play. You can literally just stick that thing in there and don't have to worry about it not working, unlike other situations which can get really awkward. But it retails for right around 200 bucks, so if this drops down to about 150 during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I would definitely scoop it up. Amazing sound quality, don't even really have to put any filters on or anything, just plug and play that bad boy. Moving on to webcams, I have my eye on two different choices. The first being the OBSBOT Meet 2. It retails for about 140. Right now it's a lightning deal for 109. And then we have the OBSBOT Meet SE, which is about $73 without any discounts. And quite arguably, I think this is the most undervalued budget webcam you can get your hands on, because for 70 bucks, even at retail, you get such a stunning video image. But since I think this is such a great deal, I actually reached out to OBSBOT and asked if they could sponsor this video to get you guys some coupon codes. Luckily, they agreed, so I'm going to put some discount codes on both of these webcams down below, and I just want to show you guys what these things can do real quick. To start us off, this is the OBSBOT Meet 2. It's the smallest 4K webcam, and it comes in three little colors. It's got gray, it's got white, and it's got that blue one. It's literally so freaking tiny, and it has super easy setup and seamless integration. So let's take a look at the image quality. This is what the Meet 2 looks like right out of the box, no changes whatsoever. And one of the cool things about this webcam is that it has auto framing technology, so if we turn it on and we change it from group mode to single close-up or even upper body, it will literally track you and keep you in the frame without moving the webcam itself and without you having to make any adjustments. It also has upgraded technology for low light conditions, so if we turn my light off, you can see that we're still getting a pretty good image. You can also turn off auto framing and manually do it, so if I set it to medium or wide, we can actually zoom in and then move this box to have us in the frame. You can also go to image, you can turn off autofocus and manually set it if you feel like that's better for you, especially if we hold up something in the camera like this. It'll give it a second to focus, and then we hold it away, give it a second to refocus. It does a pretty good job. It also has auto exposure, anti-flicker, and pretty much everything else you're gonna need. It also has gesture control, like with auto framing, so if we hold up our palm like this, it'll turn it off. That way you don't have to actually go inside the settings to change it every time. It also has a lot of compatibility like with the Stream Deck and a ton of different shooting modes for different platforms. Like if you wanted to change this to a vertical resolution, all you have to do is change the preview mode to portrait, then rotate it. Then you just rotate the actual camera, and now you have a nice vertical position for when you want to do vertical streams. You also have the option of doing 4K 30. However, I prefer the 1080/60. I just like having the higher frame rate. And with that 1/2-inch CMOS sensor, you get a quality image every time. Now this webcam right here is the Meet SE. You can see I got this cool little greenish blue one. Also comes in these three colors. And I still think this is one of the best budget webcams you can buy. So let's see what it looks like. So this is what the Meet SE looks like. It has pretty much all the same features as the Meet 2, but at a fraction of the cost. This is about $69, which is insane. Now this webcam cannot do 4K 30 FPS, but it can do 1080p 100 FPS. No clue why you would want to use 100 FPS, so I'm going to stick with 1080p 60 frames per second. But you got the option if you want it. But this also has auto frame. You can turn it on and it will automatically track you in the frame. But you can also manually do it as well. If we turn it off, we can make sure this is all the way out. You can also zoom in just a smidge and then drag it down to keep you in frame for people that are just sticking in one spot. Then you could also go to image. You can also change the focus, the exposure, and anything else you want, just like the Meet 2. The only difference is that it did have to compensate on some of the specs in order to actually make make it cheaper, and that's why this has a 1 by 2.8 inch CMOS sensor. But truthfully, if you compare the two webcams back to back, I find it very difficult to see how much of a difference there is. It even does a pretty good job in low light settings. Like I just turn off my light now, and yet we're still getting a pretty clear image, as well as not really dropping any frames in the frame rate. So this is really impeccable. So hopefully now you can see why it's one of my most favorite budget webcams for new streamers. So for $69 is already amazing price, but with the stacked discount codes down below, you can get like an additional 28% off with those coupon codes. Moving on to the next heavy hitters when it comes to streaming gear, that's going to be gaming laptops and gaming PCs. You're going to want a gaming laptop if you travel a lot. That's what I'm currently using right now. You can still stream on a gaming laptop. That is a myth that you can't. I use it for literally all my streams. However, if you are going gaming laptop versus gaming PC, you are going to be paying a little extra money for that added portability, and gaming PCs are generally going to be a little bit cheaper for the same specs you'd get for a laptop. And since there's so many different brands of laptops and so many different combinations of specs in these laptops, I'm just going to have a running list of links down below this video. But generally speaking, when I'm thinking about gaming PCs and gaming laptops, is that you're going to focus on a couple of specs. The first spec being the CPU, and I wouldn't go anything lower than a CPU that's i7 for Intel or Ryzen 7 for AMD. And then for the graphics card, really I wouldn't go anything lower than like a 4000 for GeForce RTX. And for RAM, you really want to be aiming for about 32 gigabytes of RAM, but a lot of these come with 16 gigs, which is passable. But the cool thing about both laptops and PCs is that you can easily upgrade the RAM later down the road. So if you see a perfect deal for a laptop or a PC that has everything that's really good except for the RAM is 16 instead of 32, I would just cop that and then get a RAM upgrade later down the road because it's really cheap upgrade and it's super easy to do yourself. So CPU, GPU, aka graphics card, and RAM are going to be the top three things. And then the amount of storage is just going to depend on how much storage you want to have for both your games and your video files if you're going to be making content and recording. But you could always get external hard drives, which you could get later down the road too. So those are the things I would keep an eye out for both gaming laptops and gaming PCs. So once again, I'll leave my recommendations in the description down below because they're likely going to change from time to time. So I'll keep it updated for you. Next most important thing that a lot of people overlook is getting a nice boom arm for your microphone. The reason why a lot of new streamers' microphones suck balls is because they actually don't have it about 4 to 5 inches away from their mouth. They're usually using like the stand that it comes with, and it rattles on the desk so you hear all that noise. And they have it so far away from their mouths they have to turn the volume and the gain up so it picks up everything else in the room. So getting a boom arm is going to fix that issue. Now you can get something really cheap like the $20 one here, but in my experience, they're really not that great. They work in a pinch for a while, but a lot of the times, especially with like heavier microphones like this, it will sag over time, so you have to keep readjusting it, which is annoying. A new favorite that hit the scene recently is the Fifine low profile, and this one is super low. It goes right above your keyboard, so it doesn't get in the way of a bunch of things, like how this one's kind of at the side of my face. And then you have the tried and true, which is the professional standard, #1 top rated. It's the Rode PSA1 Plus, which is 130 bucks, which if you have 130 bucks lying around, or if it's less than 100 on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, it might be worth getting because you can't really do much better than this. The one that I'm currently using is the Joby Wavo boom arm. It's about 100 bucks, but I do really like it for one distinguishable feature, and that is this little ball mechanism right here. Literally, you can clamp the ball in harder or loosen it to be able to actually move it in any direction possible, because with standard boom arms, it's literally up, down, left, right, whereas this, you can get weird angles and just get it to your mouth hole as directly as possible. So I really like that feature, but I'm also not sure if this is going to go on discount, but I'll leave it linked down below just in case. Next thing are getting good key lights, because you could have a beautiful webcam, but your lighting is total trash, and it's going to make that really expensive webcam look like trash. And vice versa, if you have a really bad webcam, it can look a lot better just with some simple key lights. This is where I think you guys are going to save a ton of money, because you see things like the Elgato key lights where for one, it's $180, which I think is a literal ripoff. I do understand it comes with the Elgato ecosystem, so it goes inside the app, you can control everything. So if you're already in the ecosystem, it makes sense to get. But for smaller streamers that don't have $180 for a key light, literally, I'll show you guys what I'm using right now. If you scroll all the way down, the most generic looking one you can find right here is what I have. $24, you get 2 of them. I'm only using one. Literally just put it in front of me and then 45-degree angle to the right, about eye level, and you get this beautiful shot, lights up the room fine. It's a good key light to have on your face to separate you from the background. Could also use the second one as like a fill light in the back to make it better, but you guys know me, I'm lazy. I like to keep things simple, direct, and efficient, so I only use the one, but you already get a second one, so you might as well use it. So I don't really know if this is going to go any cheaper, but if it does, it's a no-brainer. It's already a no-brainer as it is, so definitely cop one if you have no key lights whatsoever. Total game changer, I promise. Speaking of lighting, Govee is one of my top brands that that I like to use for all my RGB, because like the Elgato ecosystem, this has its own app where you can connect everything. So literally I just log in on my phone, use the app, and can change everything that I want. You can see the blue light behind my couch. That's this little LED strip. It's about $13.50. I'm sure it's gonna go cheaper. And then the purple lights up there, if I scroll down, they should be the Glide, which are these bad boys right here. These are 50 bucks, so definitely more expensive, but I think they're definitely worth the price. They have more functionality than the strip lights do. So if you're trying to get them to react to sound or things like that, these work a lot better. I feel like the strip lights are kind of delayed when you use that feature, but if you're really looking for a cheap option, I would go with the strip lights. And then if you really want to go more functionality, I would go for the Glide lights, because I'm using both right now and I love them. Really don't have that many complaints. Next few things are going to be underlooked AF, but honestly, they've probably been the best investments I've made into my streaming career. And that's one, getting a standing electrical desk. Really doesn't matter on which one you get. Just look at the reviews. ER Gear and Furmax are usually the two most popular on Amazon. For around 100 bucks, this is a no-brainer. So much better for your health, especially for people who stream on their butt all day. But now I actually combo the standing desk combo with an under desk walking treadmill. If you guys don't believe me, you guys should go check out my Twitch streams. Literally, I've been streaming on the treadmill for all of my streams. It's such an easy way to get your steps in and not be sitting on your butt getting blood clots. So I combine the under desk treadmill with the actual desk that goes up and down with the simple button. It's a complete freaking game changer, and I will never go back. This is the exact one that I'm using right now, but it looks like they also have a cheaper one here. So depending on what the Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday deals, you might be able to get one better than the other. But I've been using this probably for the past 2 years or so, and I've been using it almost every single day, and it's still holding up surprisingly. Moving on to headphones, I will gladly take these specific headphones to the freaking grave. I have a bachelor degree in music technology. I've been producing music professionally for a long time. For 160 bucks, I know it's expensive. I bought these literally about 10 years ago, and I still use them to this day. They're these right here. They have a detachable cable, so if your cat goes to tell on it, then you can literally just unscrew it and get a new one instead of having to buy a whole new $160 headset. And these little earmuffs, you can buy replacements on Amazon as well. So as long as you don't submerge it in water or do something stupid, they will pretty much last forever. So this I would say is an end game upgrade. Would highly recommend. Beautiful sound quality, can't complain at all. Next on our list is going to be capture cards, and really there's only one that I would recommend that I've used, and that's going to be the Elgato capture cards. I used the previous model, the HD60S, but the newest model, the HD60X, right around 138. It's a little discounted right now, and the best part about this is that it's Elgato, it's a trusted brand, and if you have literally any issues at all, you can email them. Their website has every troubleshooting issue you can imagine, and so paying for that safety net is 100% worth it in my opinion. You can get one of the cheaper no-name ones on Amazon, but you are effed if you run into any issues whatsoever. You can literally ask nobody about it. You're gonna have to figure it out for yourself. So for me, it's worth paying the premium just to be able to have that support when you need it. And for those that don't know, you're only gonna need a capture card if you wanna connect your console to your computer, so that way you can literally have the gameplay footage than OBS or Streamlabs instead of streaming directly from your console, because we all know that's limited AF and not fun. These I just got recently. These are the newer extendable camera desk mounts with the ball head. Basically, I strap these bad boys to my desk because it goes up and down, right? So I have my webcams attached to one of these, and then I have my key light, that cheapo one that I posted earlier, to another one. So that way, when I have my desk go up and down, they're not falling, knocking stuff over all the way. So literally for 24 bucks, 100% worth it. It's a quality of life thing, so if it's on discount, definitely scoop one up, especially if you're gonna get an electric standing desk. For gaming mice and keyboards, I personally don't really have any good recommendations. I just want to make you aware that if you guys are complaining about your keyboard clicks getting picked up in your microphone, this might be a good time to pick a quieter keyboard out there, or upgrade your microphone to something that's not as sensitive. The Rode PodMic USB does a great job of excluding those sounds, but also I don't have a really loud keyboard like I know a lot of people do. So this might be a good time to swap it out for something that's a little quieter if you have that issue. And then for all my homies that want to get a little experimental, you could always pick up a green screen backdrop kit, so that way you can mess around with the green screen, because I know for something that I was like, do I really want to try a green screen? I don't want to spend like this 220 bucks just to try something out. But if it's like 20-30 bucks, it's might as well worth the shot. And if you hate it, you can always return it. Amazon returns are pretty freaking sweet, so it's worth the risk. So just something to keep an eye on as well. But I know we covered so many different pieces of streaming gear this video, and I just want to make sure you guys are saving as much money as possible, which is why you should watch this playlist to the side of me. I've reviewed so many pieces of streaming gear that I've talked about in this video, so give it a watch before you buy. My name's Cody, and I will see you in the next one.